Well, hello. If you turn down Epidemius. I love it. It's a nice way to start the day. So, my latest adventure is this little device. It's called the Dovo. I know we can get that in focus, you probably can't. Anyway, it says Novo Pen Echo. Echo. And Echo Novo. I have, of course, the instruction manual. This is an insulin pen. I'm now joining the august group of people that need a little help with their blood sugar. So you basically pull this little booger out and turn it, and this dial here tells you how many units. You need some insulin, and there's a cartridge that fits right in here, and then you screw that until it clips, and there'll be a threaded end that comes out, and then you screw on your needle. Don't have the needles yet. They're coming. Amazon, would you believe? There you go. See, take pen apart, insert the cartridge. This is the cartridge that would have the insulin. And they flip the pen the other way, and then you screw the needle on there. It's just a couple of twists, and then you'll have and the needle is it's a skinny needle, and it's very short. It's only 4 millimeters short, which is about a sixth. It's not a quarter of an inch. That's longer than an eighth of an inch. So it's 5/32 of an inch. How about that? All right, always test the flow before you inject. And the reason for that, so what you do is you turn that thing up to like 1 or 2 units. It says here 2. But try 1 and see what happens. Because you don't want to waste any more insulin than you have to. But if it takes 2 units to purge the needle, because you're screwing on a needle and it's dry, it's a real fine needle, and it's only that long, So it's not going to take an awful lot of insulin to prime the needle, and because you have this cartridge, and you're screwing a needle on there, which is assumingly right up against the cartridge, but it may not be completely as airtight, but there may be air between. So you hold the device needle up, and you turn it to 2, which I'll do. If I can get away with 1, that's fine. See, every time you use this device, you use a fresh needle. So I bought a box of 100. So if I have to use this 2, 3, 4 times a day, that's 4 needles a day. 4, so 4 times 3 is 12, it's 120. You're going to go through 120 needles a month. They only sell them in boxes of 100. So we'll see how I do. I may very well not need insulin 4 times a day, every time I eat a meal. one more for your evening snack. So, and I couldn't find the Novo Fine Plus needles. Oops, sorry. Sorry. I gave this back to my doctor, and I made it back for myself, so I made 2 packs. In case he's not familiar with the Novo needles. But so here's the image of the needle. Oh, that's good. This is a standard needle. You see there's plastic between here and here. So you stick the needle in right up to the plastic. Novo decided the paper just, I hit the volume control and it blasted me. So, and I'm not talking into the microphone. So with this one, you just press it all the way and until it stops against the base of this thing that holds the needle, which makes a whole lot of sense. That way you don't have to kind of look. You can just, look down. You just stick it in your side, your belly. You don't really need to squeeze. The needle is so short that you don't need to squeeze your skin to have a raised area. You just find a nice tender place where there's some fat tissue. That's it. You just stick that all the way in. So I have a box of these, which is not the Novo Fine Plus. So I'm probably going to have to special order that from somewhere. Publix is working on it. So here's how this one should be shipped. But my doctor never writes the script right to begin with, so we have to work on him a little bit. It comes 5 of these cartridges in a box. They're 30 milliliters each. But that's not 300 units each, because you got to waste half of it just purging the needle. You set that thing on 2 units. Well, 2 units every time is 4 times a day. So that's 8 units per day is being lost just to purge the needle. And 8, times 30, 3 times 8, that's 240. So out of a 300 unit vial, 240 of it's going to be used just to purge the needle. So you got 60 left. Well, that's fine. So 60, so that'd be 30 shots of 2 units apiece. So if I use it 4 times a day, 4 times 8. So that's it's like an 8-day supply. So that's like a week. 1, 2, 3, 4. So you're going to use 4 of these in a month, and you have 1 spare. And this one goes in the second pen, because you should always have a second pen in case one of them fails for some reason. And in the instruction book, I don't have it in here, it says, always have a second pen. Well, of course, they only ordered 1. Now, I mean, this is like the blind leading the blind here. So here's how to use, all this stuff. And number, right on page 1 of the booklet, it says, have a second pen with a cartridge in it, just in case the first pen becomes inoperable, or the cartridge fails, or the device fails to dispense, who knows. Things can happen, so you should have a spare. So they have red and blue, so I'll get a blue one. So one of them, maybe the blue one will be the one I use all the time, and the red one is like emergency. So You know, you don't want to use one of the cartridges if you don't have to. And if I'm home, I'm just going to keep them in the refrigerator and pull one out when I need it. And so when I have breakfast, which is coffee and 4 Publix oatmeal raisin cookies, which is my favorite little munchy cookie. So that gives me a little breakfast. Drink a cup of coffee with lots of cream in it. So I get some calcium in there with the milk. And it says here, select 2 units. And then you turn the pen upside down and push the button, and you should get some squirting out the top. Now, if I get away using 1 unit instead of 2, I'll try it. Maybe a little experimenting with the first cartridge. And then they show in this page here, where's ideal locations to stick that little sucker. Your ass cheeks, I don't know how I'd reach that. The back of your arm, I got my reading device there. And then this is you can see the stomach area. And, on top of your legs, there's a lot of fat inside top. And the needle is so fine. It's the diameter of 2 human hairs. So, that's pretty thin. When they gave me an insulin shot when I was in the hospital in December, I went in there for acute bronchitis. If I don't feel good and I got like bronchitis, I just go in emergency. I figured, I can't, I'm not going to be one of these people that's found dead, because he didn't get treated, You need antibiotics, you need steroids, you need, IV fluids, so you don't dehydrate. It's dehydrated. Anyway, so this little booklet tells me how to use the pen. And then I had another booklet. I have it right here. I don't know. I don't think I went over this. But this is let's turn on sorry, I'm a little slow. We want to add, there we go, whoops. Crop skeins. There we are. So, I can show you what I mean. I hope. There it is. Link up. Link up. See, it tells you my blood sugar right now is 173 micrograms per deciliter. I mean, that's the actual with the mg/dl. So let's say 173. Everyone knows what you mean. At least, see 173. It's coming. This device I have in the back of my arm, which happens to be this size. I saved one. So, look at that. It's smaller than a nickel and bigger than a dime, but it's really small. And, so right on this surface right here, all the way around, is stickum, that sticks to your arm. And then there's a little pricker that pricks your arm. I can be able to see that. Yeah, look at that. You can see it. It's a little needle kind of thing. and the device that they supply with it is it pushes it right in and makes it stick. So within an hour, this thing operates, and every 5 minutes sends a signal to the iPhone with a new reading. So this will change every 5 minutes. It's 173, now it's 172. It's like the arrow going that way means it's steady, which means it's not really going up or down too much, but it'll start falling off because I'm done with lunch, which was a cup full of pasta. Anyway, so that's what I gave the doctor that so we could see, the kind of information that's coming out of this thing that's in my arm. And then here's daily pattern, and you can see where it goes up. Well, when it goes up, you take two. When it goes over 200, you take 2 units of insulin to bring it right down. So this shows you at least twice a day. It's breaking 200. All this time it's over 200. It just means 2, 3, 4 times a day. Here's some. Oops, sorry. I keep on bumping this. Here's a chart that shows how many times it's in range and out of range. So I'm 75% in the green, which means in range, and 25% above range, never below. And 1% is over 250. I must have had a second portion of pasta. No, but I mean, if you're gonna go down to Chops and you're gonna have a nice big order of mashed potatoes and a fillet, you want to stick yourself with a couple of units of insulin right before I go downstairs. I'll have this thing with me all the time. So you just pick up your shirt and then give yourself a little pick. You have to be careful not to bend the needle because it's so thin. So you just slide it in and push the top, and it automatically dispenses 2 units. All right, what other charts do we have here in this little package? I can never seem to get the pages separated. There we go. So this is the average. This is January 29th to February 7th. This application I have, here's all the measurements for every day. And right now I'm up to, let's see how many days I've got. Let's look at a different chart. Let's look at one of these daily. Yeah, the daily pattern is fine. So if I go 90 days on here, it's going to say, oops, you only got 60 of 90 days. So that's the data for 60 of 90 days. Let's just do the last 30 days. So that shows you which is very much like the graph I just showed you. Yeah. So 2 or 3, it's about 3 times a day. It's above 200. All this time. From here. But when you take a shot here, it's going to bring that down. And so since I have continuous blood glucose monitoring, I know what's going on. So here's my A1C 7.0. Let's try. I call it GMI with this thing. I've come down to 6.9. It's coming down because I'm controlling my eating a little bit because I don't really have this insulin thing set up yet. I have one cartridge, one cartridge of the insulin. Because the doctor's nurse doesn't understand that you don't get 300 units in the cartridge that you can deliver because you have to waste 240 units just priming the needle. You know, a 3 milliliter cartridge is not much. The cartridge is about that big. Let's say maybe 1.5 inches. It's that big. And it's about that diameter. And it's, you know, the plastic is heavy duty. So the internal diameter is not huge. It's small. So 3 milliliters is not a lot of insulin. Before they had this pen thing, you would get a 10 milliliter vial and then inject from there. So why am I getting, give me at least 10 milliliters like you would if I had a vial. Yeah, what do you think I want to do? Sell it? So I have to get the doctors to, I want at least a second pen, and I want a second cartridge in the second pen, and then 2 more cartridges. So that's 2 in each pen, and 2 cartridges I'm probably going to use. And the 5th from that package, remember I showed you that package? In these things here, a package of 5. I should just go to the photos. Let's just go to photos because we don't need to look at my blood sugar in stereo. So we just press that one tab right there. Shrink this down. And I'm looking for the 5-pack. That's nice. Here's the box. So that's what it looks like. Oh, it's in the United States. This is what it's called in Canada. In the United States, it's called Novolog, L-O-G, N-O-V-O-L-O-G. Pen fill for the for this. Oops. And let's see. There's earlier. Of the 5. It's coming up. There it is. So that is the 5. That's how it's packaged. And this is like plastic right here and foil there, like when you get pills, and you just push the pill out to the bottom of the foil. So these are all sealed up in this foil wrap, and that thing, it tends to also stabilize it. And these go in the box. And then these boxes you want to keep them between 2 and 8 degrees centigrade, which is, like 37 degrees to 45 degrees. So, you don't want to freeze it. No, you do not freeze. When you start using one, it'll last like 30 days, as long as it's below 30 degrees centigrade, which is more, it's like 85. So that's it. So I just need to. That's what I was talking about with the surface. There's no extra plastic. So you just push that all the way in to your skin. And this, and then you just, push it in. So this you dial to, I want 2 units. So you just go like that. I can, This Nova pen, the reason why I got the Nova pen is there's like 4 different varieties of these pens made by the same company. But the Novo pen is, one of the newest ones. And Novo Pen 6 is, as new as the Novo Pen Echo. The 6 actually transmits what you inject to the phone. So the phone app and it's also keeping track of your blood sugar, will track, your injections, and then you can see how it brought down the blood sugar and all that. Right now, I don't have big swings in my blood sugar. So, it's 1, 2, or 3 units, 2.5, 1.5. If it's just a little tiny bit, at 200, maybe I give myself 1.5 units instead of, I'm going to be on the very low end of the scale here. So I may get, quite a bit of mileage out of one cartridge. But you shouldn't have, how stupid is that, one cartridge? If it breaks, then I'm like SOL, the S word and then out of luck, SOL. Yeah, that's like not very scientific. So you need a backup because you're out in the woods, you're not in a laboratory condition, and, poo-poo happens. I don't want to use the S word. Happens. You drop it. That may be the end of the pen. Well, hopefully you have the other one with you, because the one that didn't drop. It's the materials. I like the materials. They're really good. I can tell just from this plastic clip, the way it's attached, the way it's all molded in one piece, and it can take a lick. It can take a licking and keep on ticking. This device here also looks pretty sturdy. So every time you use it, use a fresh needle. So let's see if I have a picture of this. Come on, baby. We just want to get back to where I can see. Yeah. It's a very nifty little thingy, and I apparently don't have a picture of it. But I know where I have a picture of it. Let's go to. I said, you guys at Publix need I don't need a prescription for needles. You don't need a prescription for needles. You need it for this thing, for insurance purposes, so they'll pay or not pay. I don't care. I'll just pay. All right, so go to Amazon. So I went to Amazon, got the needles on Amazon. I'm going to tell Publix that I'm not happy with them. That they're holding me hostage to getting a prescription on a stupid. Let's see, is it shipped yet? 637. It's like $30 for 100. So that's like 3 cents a piece. That's not going to break the bank. Oops, something went wrong. Okay, so forget it. Let's just go to this nice picture. There we go. There we go. See that? That's pretty nifty container. Let me turn the brightness down over here so you can see what's going on with that. That's better. You can see the contrast a little better. So, these are 4mm needles. and they're gauge 32, which is the finest. You can actually get a gauge 33, but it's hard to find because they don't make that many. You know, most people are satisfied with the 32. That's the one that's 2 human hairs. So yeah, and it's got a little handle, twisty thingy. That's what that is. That's what the needle looks like. See, it's got this extra. It's a bigger piece of extra plastic, so you can feel that against your skin. And you just inject. Novo decided, forget this. Bring the needle down. We can put enough plastic down in here to stabilize it, and this whole bottom here would press against your skin, which makes sense. So, premium quality needles. See, see how they show how it works, and you just push your finger on that, and it dispenses. Because this becomes, you dial this up to, 2 or 3 or 5, whatever. I'm not taking 30 units every time I'm just taking 1, 2, or 3 units and halves in between. So now that's all set. If I had a cartridge and a needle, and you just stick it in your skin, and you don't want to hit oblivion. And you just press that in, and the plunger will then dispense 2 units, which is very small. But anyway, I thought that was a pretty neat little container. You pull the fresh ones out. I guess you just have to use your imagination. See, each needle has its own little package. And then you peel off the green thing. That exposes the needle. And you just pour it out of that plastic and then screw it on to the end of the pen. Which, if the cartridge was there, there'd be a threaded area right here. And then on covering the needle is a cap. Let's see if there's a picture of that somewhere. Anyway, so this is all sealed up so that it is sterile. You peel that green thing off and you put the needle out, which is, looks like that, but there's a cap on it. So I keep banging you, Mr. Microphone. And you screw on the needle. And then when you're ready to purge the needle, you turn this to 1 or 2 units. Take off the plastic cap that's covering the needle and press, and you want to see a little, you want to see some of this one squirt out of that needle so that the needle is purged. Then you turn this again to, let's say, I need 2 units. And now you can take this thing off and then take off the plastic cover that's protecting the needle and just find a piece of fatty tissue and just put it in and press the plunger and hold that in for about 5 seconds, and that's the end of it. And then this counter goes back down to 0 and you get a little bit of insulin. See, I'm diabetic because my A1C is 6.9 or 7.0, somewhere there. So that's diabetic. Anything over 6.5, and you're diabetic. Yeah, so I was 6'5", 6'6", so I'm like pre-diabetic. Well, now I'm diabetic because it's at 7. Now, if I keep control of my blood sugar and keep it down, every time it gets up around 200, just take a couple of units and bring that back down again. then my A1C over a period of time will drop, significantly. The alternate way of treating your blood sugar is to take pills. I figured, you know what? I don't want to do that. Metformin is a favorite. And if you read the guides on metformin, and then you read other things on the internet about metformin, you don't want to take metformin. It affects your liver, it affects your kidneys. When I was taking 3 a day and then it's going to go up to 4 or 5 a day, I don't want to do that. I'd rather just, insulin it's pure. It's made exactly the way insulin is produced in your pancreas, which releases, the insulin into your body based on, your internal organs that control those things. So when you get a little older, your pancreas and the rest of the organs, they just don't exactly produce the same amount of insulin. So you give it a little help. That's all. So, I think I'm going to have to get another color, because that way you know which pen you're using and which is the backup. And I'll probably use the blue one if I can get I need another one. I got to have a prescription for this. I found it. I can buy it from, a whole bunch of places. I can get it at Publix. But I got to have a script for the second one. So since they didn't write the scripts, in the beginning, and they didn't think about the waste for purging the needle, they just said, well, one cartridge would be plenty. Well, it's not. Anyway, so I got that all figured out. They didn't read my little pamphlets. They're all busy. They don't have time. So I'm not busy, so I read everything twice. If you don't purge the needle, you don't know how much medicine you're getting. The needle has to be completely purged, or else you don't get a reliable dose. So, I'm a chemical guy, biochemist, so I've dealt with all these, I use needles injecting fluids into fluids, when we're testing stuff. That's a good, see this one, this NovoPen Echo can actually deliver a half unit increment. So you can give yourself 1.5 units or 2.5 units. You don't have to use 3 when you really only need 2.5. So you can actually go a half. So that's a lot of children that need insulin, use these because it's, low dose. It goes up to 30 units, which, I'm like 1 or 2. I'm not 30. 30 would put my blood sugar down really low, which would make you faint. You pass out. So if you go into insulin, so you got to be careful. This is no joke. You're sticking a needle in your thing, and the needle's very small. It's very thin. But anyway, I was going to say. So when I was in the hospital, I had dinner and I had, the mashed potatoes, and I ate the little cake they get. It's supposedly a diet conscious dinner. And I love cafeteria food. I'm one of the guys that love cafeteria food. Most people, I don't like cafeteria. I love it. Put the stringings on there. I love them. They get them right out of a can. Oh, crap. So, but anyway, so when you eat, in a hospital, it's cafeteria food. But it's good, the Boca Hospital the dining part of it. But I like everything about Boca Hospital, quite frankly. I don't really have a complaint. They're very officious. They're not going to let you out unless you're all your test results are in and the doctors all sign off on you. You can't walk out. You gotta let them finish. So I went in on like a Thursday or a Friday. I think Thursday, and I didn't get out until like Monday morning. So I wanted to leave a little earlier, but they found my blood oxygen was a little low. When I walk around, and then they check your blood sugar and all that stuff, or blood oxygen, and it was low. So, Mr. Wilson, you can't go home unless you have a cylinder of oxygen. I said, oh, God, really? So now we've ordered the oxygen, and it's coming up to my room, delivery, right to the room. All right, so when am I supposed to get that? I don't know, the guy was in a hurry, and he'll get here. So he showed up at midnight. He comes strolling in with this fresh bottle of oxygen, all filled up with the tubing for the. Oh gosh! Midnight, really? You work all night long? Holy mackerel! I guess he gets paid by the unit. So he gets 25 hours for delivering the oxygen. Whatever. It's got to be a hassle. He's got to park his truck, and he walks. He's got to find where the hell I am, which apparently they told him. But anyway, so I got the oxygen. So I didn't leave till the next day because who's going to leave at midnight? I just leave the next day and have breakfast. Yeah. It's not like they have patients, lined up in the hallways. God knows what it costs. I'm sure in my exit package, there's all the costs are delineated. All right, that's an important one. That shows the 5 units in the. That's good. See, I got all this stuff online from a Canadian website. This stuff is so, new in the United States. The pen comes in a nice box. Well, there's the box. There's my prescription. Double pen echo insulin device. It's not insulin, it's a device. So I need another one. So I told the pharmacist, hopefully they did it, to request a refill on this. Because I got to have 2 in case one breaks. And it's on page 1. Don't just have 1. You got to have 2. And if the insurance won't pay, I'll pay. It's $55, $45. So, it's a very nice box. I was impressed. This is no jokes. I put a little special tape on here to keep it closed. The instruction book is very well done. Because I read all this stuff, Why not? So, people don't read this stuff. I read everything. Why not? Look, here's page 1. Always carry, let's get my yellow highlighter, which is on here. And we're going to always carry a spare pen. Because you can lose it, you can drop it. Always keep your pen with you. So it should be pens, because you need 2. That's it. So I highlighted them in yellow, as you can see right there. Page 1. You didn't have to dig deep into this booklet. If you drop your pen, say prayers. I'd better not drop it. I only have one. I'd miss so well if I don't have a spare. Got to have a spare. So you need a spare pack of insulin, and you need a spare pen. So, this 5-pack all of a sudden becomes a 3-pack because you got to have both pens loaded. Now, one you're going to use, and then you're going to put it on. So, but when you start out, you got 3 left, and you got these 2 in pens. Anyway, they show you everything. If the plunger is still out, push it in. Shows you how to screw on the needle. It's very simple. If you got any problems, call this 800 number. They show you how to do the dosing. See, my treatment therapy is basically meals and snacks. So if you're going to have a portion of potatoes, that's probably going to throw you up 100 units. So if you're at 100, it's going to throw you up at 100. You're going to be at 200. Then you take a unit and a half of insulin, bring that back down to 100 or slightly. It's actually better a little bit below 100. 100 is not neutral. It's high, but it's marginally high. You want to be at 90. You can get that sucker at 90, 95. That'd be great. Because the problem is if your blood sugar goes up, your blood cells are not carrying the food to the rest of the cells in the body. The blood is one organ, and it's supposed to deliver, nutrients to your brain and to your eyes and to, everything inside. So if your blood sugar is high, the nutrients is not being delivered to your organs. It's just the blood sugar is just high, and the blood it keeps on circulating, and the body can't use that unless there's enough insulin there to burn off the sugar, the blood sugar. The blood sugar is perfectly capable of delivering, the nutrients, the energy nutrients, to run your eyes and your heart and your lungs and all this stuff. But blood sugar can't be too high. If it's too high, then the body actually doesn't use the blood sugar. It can't. It gets blocked. And the insulin unblocks it. Your body produces the insulin. And if you're, a nice young person, all this stuff is not a problem because you produce enough insulin as your body needs it, and that way it can burn off the sugar that's delivered in this blood thing. Let's get this thing all lined up so I can read the outside of the box. There we go. Let me just push that down. I did a little double, turn it over here so I got a little tab so I can pull it off again without, scraping it. And there we go. So that came, and I was very impressed with that packaging. Packaging is important. Apple is big on packaging. Oh my God. Their boxes are thick. They're like this. They're like this thick. I mean, it's like 15 pages of 32-pound paper. So this is about the thickness of the box. A very heavy-duty box. If you crush that box, the insides are probably going to get hurt. But the box is so strong that it prevents any reasonable blow, even if you drop it on the floor. Cartridge is used for one person only. Yep. You don't want to share needles and all that stuff. Yeah. And you don't want to put anything else through there. You know, like barbiturates or something. No. You know, I am very adverse to all this stuff, but you know, I'd rather take the insulin than all this chemistry. And particularly when I'm reading stuff about how it, you know, is not good for your liver and everything. So now I know why they always have a pair of pens showing. It's because you should always have a pair of pens. You should never have one. And you always carry both. So in case you break one, or it falls to the floor and stops working, you know, you're not out of luck until Monday, you know, when you can get the doctor back in the office. You know, because anyway, so that's what that's doing on my desk. Yeah, here I did a little fast math when I was talking to the pharmacist. All right, you need 2 units to prime the needle, and I need 2 units for my dose. Let's just say it's even. It's always 2 units. So 2 and 2 is 4. So every time I take a dose, I need 4 units. Well, so how many doses are available then? It's 100 milliliters, excuse me, it's 3 milliliters, and it's 100 units per milliliter. That's the concentration. So that means there's 300 units in that little cylinder. So you divide that by 4, that's 75 doses. All right? If I'm going to take 4 shots a day, that means in 18 days that cylinder is dead. There isn't anything left in it. You know, I get to day 19 and I open up the pen and I can see, you know, there's nothing left. And, you know, it'll stop. You can't squirt out if it's empty. So that's why I was saying, you know, 1 cartridge is ridiculous. You need at least 3, 1 for each pen. And the second one, so you can get 18 is 36. So 32, 30, you know, 30 days a month. You know, it takes you a while for the, you know, these guys to get the stuff, you know. It's not hanging around. Particularly with these Nova pens. It's relatively new, this pen thing. And it's not real new, because I got some friends of mine that have been using it for a few years. But Novo just finally is breaking into the U.S. market. It's very high quality, you know, engineered, and I think the guys are Denmark. How cool is that? Denmark. They come up with this. I mean, what a world we live in. A couple of guys in Denmark come up with this whole scheme. And, you know, they have a great box, great instruction book. And the pen, I can feel it. It is nothing but quality with that. It is not a piece of junk. That's good stuff. So, Novo pen device saved me $78, and the amount due was 0. So my insurance plan covered the entire expense for one of these pens. Let's see what happens with the second one. Yeah, we got to pay for it. That's okay. If I have the script, I can get it anywhere for $45. No insurance. You know, just like the, you know, the, what do they call that? Short-term memory is like in the toilet. Oh yeah, Good RX and single care. Single care, yeah. So, see, insulin refills. I may not be able to see. I can see. There it is. There. 5 quantity in a carton. They generally don't break apart the cartons. CVS Pharmacy is the lowest. $272. $270. So it's like, yeah, 5 times 5 is 25. So it's about $55 a cylinder for a 3 milliliter cylinder. What a racket! Huh? That's with help. I think I also have this figured out on GoodRx. Yep. See, here's insulin. This is the generic. Box of 5, as low as $75. So instead of $250, it's $75. That's the generic Humalog. So, you know, when you're doing pills, they always go for the generic, assuming it's chemically identical to the and Publix says 141. But CVS Pharmacy is right across the street. It's 83. Or Walgreens 75. They know this, so they'll bring their price down. So that's Good RX. And I just showed you the other company. So Novo Fine, the needles. 200 needles, 4 millimeter long, gauge, 32 gauge. Novo Fine. See if I can get it. Can I see a picture of that? Oh, there it is. Oh, there you go. Novo Fine Plus. You see, it's got the blunt face on there. Yeah, that's pretty good design. So that way you don't stick it in too far. You're not trying to find a blood vein or something. So you just find a fatty tissue area. Yeah, I got blood veins running across my hand. You wouldn't want to stick it into your blood vein, no. This goes in your fatty area, and then that'll, you know, within about 10 minutes, that'll all be moving around because you got blood is circulating through your fatty tissue all the time. Not to worry. See, so there's the Novo Fine needles. $115, $118. There's, here you push this one, and this is other pharmacy places. Get a free coupon, let's do that. So that's what it looks like, $115. I think I'll take a picture of that. Because you just show this to the Publix guy, and I say, hey guy, why are you charging me $275 when I got a coupon for $115? Save it. Can I save it? It is saved. I didn't pull that down all the way. I didn't see that. The other, you go all the way to the bottom. You know, Good RX Gold is 108. Publix, whatever Publix is, you know, 118, 115, whatever. And then you just see this other pharmacy is not listed. You just get, this is the payment information that goes in their computer. Anyway, so I copied that. So anyway, but where do you get the needles? No one has them. So I've got them from Amazon. Go figure, right? Good old Amazon, man. They got every damn thing. You can buy a belt for your engine in your automobile and super fine needles from. Isn't that crazy? As they keep growing, they keep carrying everything. Anyway, so that's it. I think I got this figured out. So I got 100 needles coming. And at least that buys me time to find the other needles that, that are engineered better. And my son is starting to work for a new restaurant. They're not new in the restaurant business. They got a number of units up in the New York, New Jersey area. Reno's, R-A-N-O-S. They took over the space that was occupied by I'm trying to think of the other restaurant name. Frankandino's. Apostrophe S. Well, they threw in the towel. They couldn't make it work. Too many expenses. You gotta be lean and mean, because the food cost is really driving up these prices. It's not bad, looking at the overall price structures, it's fine. They adjust the portion size, and there's 1,000 ways of skinning this cat. Anyway, I'm going to keep it full this way because I got my my dosing information penciled out. So Monday, I'm going to get a hold. I sent my doctor a fax a couple days ago. And tomorrow, I say Monday, tomorrow I am calling my doctor's office and I want to speak to his nurse, whoever that is. I'm going to get her on the phone. Have her call me back, whatever. Because I want to explain, these faxes I just sent and why, we're having trouble with Publix and so forth. And I need another pen because you have to have two. If one stops working, you got to have the other one because, you're carrying insulin in your pocket every day. I'm not taking the pills. So you can't, you don't want to take the chance of something, happens to one of the pens. Hopefully that will not happen, but you got to have the spare because you're not in a laboratory situation where you use a syringe and then you throw it all away. This is not a throwaway deal because you keep using it over and over again, but you keep on twisting on a new needle. So you pitch the needle appropriately. You wrap it up and this and that and jam the needle so no one can use it. But remember I showed you that plastic thing that the needles come in. You just put the end of your pen in the top end of that and it unscrews the needle, and you just leave it in there and you turn that and it puts it in the trash can that's in that container. And then when I get another 100 set of needles, I'm just going to push it right into that bottom part and let that unit dispense needles until it's stuffed with dead needles. And then of course I'll have to figure out how to empty it. Anyway, so that's That's the life of a of someone that's doing insulin. All right, so let's see. So I've been gabbing out here for an hour and a half talking about probably stuff you're not interested in, or maybe you are. There's that thing I was talking about. Bingo. You're gonna get a bigger one. Ultigard. ULTI. Ultigard. I think's the way they probably pronounce that. Ultigard Safe Pack. So the clean needles are down in there in the bottom part of this container, and then the used ones, get stored over here because you turn this thing and it probably falls right in here. The dead ones. So this pack is 132 gauge. That's what G stands for. 4 millimeters, which is about that long. So it's very short. That's why you need to stick it in. And anyway, when you're giving insulin in the hospital, you slip that thing in my mouth, couldn't feel a thing. I could not feel that needle. It is so skinny that you can't feel it. So when they gave me the booster shot, no, I took the first one. You take 2 and they're separated by 30 days. So you got the shot 1 and 2. When I did that, I didn't feel anything. The lady stuck it in my arm, and I didn't feel a thing. Well, it's the same kind of thing with these. She was probably using 28 gauge needles. The 32 gauge needles is really skinny. You can get a 33 gauge needle, which is even the higher the number, the skinnier the needle. So 33 gauge is, after a while, maybe those become commercially available. Right now, I've only found the 33 gauge in one place. But there wasn't the Nova Fine. It was, some standard brand. Like this. I got these because, they back ordered the Nova Fine Plus until they get them. They don't have them until they have them. So at least I know you can get them anywhere without a prescription, because I'm getting them at Amazon, really. Publix says, breaking my tomatoes, you need a prescription for the needles. Bullshit. I didn't need a prescription for, my dog had, diabetes. Can you imagine? My dog had diabetes. So I'm giving the dog these shots, and, I got a whole box of needles. There was nothing. I get any needle that I wanted. So I got skinny ones, and not too long. They were probably a little too long, because you squeeze the skin in the back of the neck, and you just stick it right in there and squirt in the insulin. This is the same kind of insulin I'm getting now. Anyway, so now I gotta give it to myself. And the worm turns, so the dog passed away, and now I gotta take the insulin. That's cool. What are you gonna do? So the thing goes right in there, and you unscrew the needle right in that container, getting ready for your new needle. And then you can actually put that on and close up the pen, because there's still a protector on top of the needle. Now the question is, will that all fit? See, the pen goes all the way to here, so so I've got It's almost a full inch. And half of that's going to be the threading on the end of the cartridge. And the rest of it's going to be the needle and the plastic on the needle. I think this was designed for this with the plastic cap on there. Because the No Fine Plus, which is a little more, you save a couple millimeters, but they don't have this plastic, and that needle is set back down. So that'll even be more capable of fitting in here. So what I'm driving at is, if you're going to go, let's say you're going to drive to, 20 minutes or so to get to your lunch appointment, then you get there, you go to the bathroom, you give yourself your shot, when you're there. You wouldn't want to take it now, because it would take you want to take the shot as close to when you're eating as possible. So that way, when the blood sugar goes up, the insulin is there, and you never see this increase like I have on my chart right now. So the chart shows, if I'm doing this right, which I'm going to do it right, that chart that's blue, that should be very, very flat. You don't want to drop it too much, so you want to drop it right down to 100, maybe 95. So, and you can control it with this thing. So if you're going to go have steak and potatoes, give yourself a couple of units, or at least me, and that'll take care of the potatoes part. It doesn't control calories, but it will control your blood sugar. So that's a good thing. So you're trying to just flatten that out. When you get older, your pancreas gets a little tired. So we're giving Mr. Pancreas a little support. We don't want him to get mad and go away. Whoops. Yeah, I just lost my...
I'm sorry.
There we go. I don't know who said I'm sorry. The computer said I'm sorry. Okay. All right. So this is like Tuesday, right? Yeah. So I may get back to you tomorrow. See if I can get it around noontime. So you all have a nice afternoon. It's 3:20, and see. So I got my finger on. Well, you can see my finger on it. This is like a mouse pad, which I finally got used to. And I clicked finish, and then it says end broadcast, which I'm going to do. You all have a nice afternoon. I'll talk to you tomorrow. You can always call me if you want to. You got a topic? Text me. Talk about this, and then I'll talk about whatever you want. You don't even have to talk to me. You send me a text message. 561-416-1100. I've had that number for 15 or 20 years. Or longer, maybe. My website? Guess what? 4161100.com. That's where I got that, from my phone number. It's 416-1100.com. Can't use a dot in between the two when you're doing something on the internet like that. Or email. Or, yeah, my phone number, email is 416.1100@gmail.com. But for, .com URL addresses, You can't have a dot on the left side of the @ unless you actually have a server, separate. That's what that designation would be. So keep it simple, www.416-1100.com. And then you get to my pictures and you see I've got literally 400,000 pictures. Can you imagine? In 36 categories. Like sports throughout, FAU sports. Yeah. Then you got swimming, and you got golf, and you got all these different sports. Diving, swimming, diving, football. Football's huge. Big section of football. Pretty much every home game for 20 years is on there. About 55,000 FAU football pictures. That's not more than 10% of my web storage, expense is FAU football pictures. So I hope a lot of people go look at them. Email address 416.1100@gmail.com. Phone number 561-416-1100. You can call or you can text to that number. So it's voice or text. If I'm not available, we'll go to voicemail. Leave a voicemail. If you don't want to do that, you can just type out a sentence or two, or 3 or 4 or 5, whatever, telling me what you want to talk about. Text it to 561-416-1100. And then I will talk about that as soon as I get that message. So have a great afternoon. See you tomorrow.